Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means, the other one's just along for the ride, and neither one of us have seen each other in who knows how long. James, what is up, my dude?
Just hanging out, man. Just enjoying whatever that home run derby was last night. We can talk about how ESPN presented those aesthetics, but
Dude,
fun nonetheless. Watch the big dumper get the win.
Yeah, and it was fun. Like the Caminero made a late push in the final round, and I was like, hey, this is actually a good time. It was a little long. I hated the split screen, and
yeah, ESPN did no favors with that.
No, but I did read that this is like the last year that ESPN has it.
That's a positive.
But it's clearly the best exhibition all-star event across all of the sports, right?
I could agree with that. I think dunk contest would have been up there, but that's really fallen off like the last 10, 15 years. So until they actually get superstars to do the dunk contest, then yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with all the all-star stuff. There's a whole bunch of all-star controversies, and we talked a little bit about that on the live show yesterday. Can you believe BSB did 8 live hours covering the draft yesterday or over the last 2 days?
That is absolutely crazy. Hats off to those boys.
Yeah, Tyler, Lewis, and Isaac just did work. Incredible stuff. If you have not checked it out, Tyler's right up on all 23 draft picks. I think 22 or 23 draft picks is already up on BlakeStreetBanter.com. All of it's on the Twitter. All the graphics are created by Lewis and posted and ready to go. There's some fun insight by Isaac on the live stream as well. So if you need your draft breakdown, if you're here for that, you're in the wrong place. James and I know nothing about these guys. But we do have some thoughts on it. We'll see. We'll get into that in a little bit. But go to BlakeStreetBanter.com to check out the best MLB draft coverage in Rockies media anywhere that you'll find. But this is more of a vent session, a rant session, kind of a what do we do with the Rockies as Rockies fans session. I have watched more Rockies games this year than I have the previous 3-4 years. Like I've been watching more Rockies game. It's still not a lot. Like, I don't know how people watch every single game just when there's so much good baseball around. Like, I'm watching Nationals games. I'm watching Rays games. I'm a huge Mariners fan this year. But I guess, like, where are you as a Rocky fan right now? Where are you standing as a Rocky fan? Like, I'm a diehard, I'm all in. Or like, it's just kind of there.
I've definitely become more of a casual than I've ever been. At least this year. Maybe that's just because of life stuff. But living on East Coast time kind of sucks as well. So that's probably played into it. But, I've been through a lot of really tough losing seasons with the Rockies. And I still watched a ton of games. But for whatever reason this year, I just can't really make sure to watch every game or even check every box score. Of course, I'm still keeping up more than most casuals are, but definitely not as much as I'm used to. Being close to Detroit, I'm kind of jumping on that bandwagon, I think.
Ooh, okay.
Not too much. It's really hard. It is super hard, actually, to try and love another team when you've loved the Rockies like ever since you fell in love with the game. So I don't know. Like, I'm kind of cheering for him, but I also kind of don't care. So it's just tough. It's a tough in between.
It is a tough in between. When you said life kind of happens, it's hard being a diehard with family and jobs and life. Like, I don't remember the last time I've just been able to sit down for 9 innings of a game and just go, boom, I can do this. Even on a Saturday night when all the kids are asleep. Like, it's just not a thing. And so it makes everything so much harder. And an argument, like you were kind of saying, like you're a Tigers fan because of Eastern time zone. Those games start at 6:30. 7 o'clock. Like, that's in the middle of your afternoon. How do you sit there and watch and listen with, I mean, you got a little one running around, you have a wife to take care of that takes care of you probably. So it's like, how do you find the time to do any of this? It's so difficult.
Yeah, it's basically just scrolling throughout the day and looking at the news as it pops up and checking box scores, and playing fantasy helps.
Yeah.
Keep you plugged in a little bit. I don't know why I play fantasy. I'm so god awful.
Have you won a league ever? I know you haven't won ours.
No, I'm pretty sure I've only made the playoffs like once. And I pride myself on my baseball knowledge of individual guys. So I can't put it together in fantasy. It's just a clear sign that I have no idea what I'm doing. So
that could be a different pod. It is a lot. But it's I don't know, there's like this huge argument like, hey, your lack of passion is going away because the Rockies are terrible. And I don't know if that's the case for you, neither you or I. I know that's the case for some of our friends. Like there's one in particular, I'm thinking you're in his fantasy league, that he just kind of quit the Rockies like 5 years ago. And he was one of the guys that was like, Nato's traded. I'm done. I'm not going to do it. And we'll just text randomly, like every 2 or 3 months. We'll just text like, so what are the Rockies doing? Should I believe in Brenton Doyle? Do I like Hunter Goodman? Like, yeah, you should. But like, that's his Rocky stuff. And he was a diehard Rockies fan through and through when we were in college together. And so it's like, I have all of these scales of friends and life, people in my life about Rockies, and they're all across the board. They're not crazy enough to do a podcast and run a media account for fun. Like, that's just ridiculous. But I don't know, it's just interesting. Like, the Rockies being terrible has nothing to do with my love for the Rockies this year, or lack of watching. I don't know how to say it.
yeah, I mean, I'll always love the Rockies no matter how bad they are.
Right.
The individual you're talking about, I think, represents most Rockies fans, that they're, as soon as something bad happens, a trade or something that doesn't make any sense, which of course the front office has done a lot of, then they just throw their hands up and go, I'm done. But then they'll still hang around, and like anytime big news happens,
They're there.
they'll text you about it or whatever. But the thing is winning cures everything. So, you know, as soon as they have a winning squad, I guarantee you there's going to be so many fans that come out of the woodwork that, you know, have been bystanders during these hard seasons. There's no doubt about that. So
yeah, like I wonder if Burge 7F91 here is like that. If the Rockies manage to lose 100 games again for the third consecutive year, they will eventually win a World Series. Burge can sit here and say he was there, right?
Law of averages. It's got to happen.
Every franchise has lost 3 consecutive 100-loss seasons, have eventually won the World Series. I'm assuming that is that the Royals? Burge, you're my research. You're our research guy. You're our mic right now, Burge. Can you give us those franchises who have lost 100 and
I think
won
the
the World
Astros
Series?
are one.
Astros are probably one because they tanked. They tanked before, when tanking was cool.
Yeah, and that's when they got Carlos Correa and things like that in the draft.
I'm curious what other. For some reason I'm thinking the Royals were terrible before they won in like 2015, whenever that was. But I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting, the levels of Rockies fandom, and we are fans first. We are here not to make names for ourselves or be relevant in any way. We're just here to cover the Rockies as fans. Oh, wow. There's a lot more. Do you have the years for that, Burge? So Burge in the chat, in the YouTube chat. So thank you for hanging out, big dog. The Phillies, Braves, Mets, Rangers, Orioles, Red Sox, Athletics, Astros, Royals, and the Blue Jays. That's probably what, 10 teams I've said there. I am curious also, how quickly did they win that World Series after losing the 3 consecutive 100 losses? Like,
yeah, that's an interesting question. Obviously, the Phillies have been around a lot longer than the Rockies, right?
I mean, all these teams have.
Oh, yeah, Red Sox, of course.
The longest wait was the Red Sox, who waited 77 years. Okay, this is just arbitrary. I love stats. Burge in the chat. The longest wait was the Red Sox, who waited 77 years after losing in 1932. So, hey, we could wait 77 more years.
So the Rockies will win a World Series. Is it going to be in our lifetime or not?
Yeah, he purposely did not put the timeline after the
great
consecutive. Great stat. I love that. I love baseball stats. But let's get into, I don't know. Can you name 10 players on the 26-man roster right now? Oh, because that's probably fairly easy. Could you go down the depth chart? If the starting lineup on Friday, when they come back from the All-Star break, could you name the position players all the way through? According to Rockies,
I think I can name most of them.
Okay, go down the line.
You want me to start at
just wherever you want to start? I'll double check.
Okay. Catcher's Hunter Goodman.
Nice. All-star, your mom's favorite player, friend of the pod, Hunter Goodman.
Yes. You got Doyle in center field.
Yup.
You got Estrada at second base.
Yep.
Unfortunately, you would prefer to have Tovar shortstop, but it's going to be Arcia probably, right?
He's on the roster. I don't think that's who you're playing.
Anyway, McMahon's at third. First base is Tolia. I'm drawing a blank on the
Your
two
outfielder.
outfield spots.
Honcho.
Who?
Mike Honcho.
Mike Concho.
Jordan Beck.
Okay, thank you. Jeez.
Nothing was clicking.
Yeah. No, I was like, I know I should know that. Yes, Beck, of course. And then the other one is, I don't know. Help me out. Right field.
Tyler Freeman, who is quietly having a fantastic season, might win the batting title for the NL.
Yeah, he's an interesting case because he's hitting for average, which is fantastic, but he's not hitting for power. So it's kind of like the way baseball is viewed now is that you would much rather have somebody that hits for power but low average. They view that as more valuable. I don't personally think that. I'm just saying baseball people in general. So I'm really enjoying Tyler Freeman's play. And then did I miss anybody?
The DH. Who would you put as DH right now?
Not a clue.
Mickey Moniak, former 1-1 pick. Mickey Moniak.
Yeah, that outfield rotation's a little bit
little sketch.
Flux. Yeah, a little sketch.
Sketch. I like Tyler Freeman. I think I agree. He's a breath of fresh air with this power thing. The one guy you kind of miss, I would say you miss, would be Ryan Ritter at shortstop right now. He is starting instead of Orlando Arcia, and we love us a little Ryan Ritter in this pod. So
yeah, I remember him getting called up, and he didn't like the world on fire when he first started. So I didn't know if he was still up or not.
Yeah, still there. And Yanko Fernandez is on the squad. Would you agree with the statement by Dinger's Burner? Thank you, hanging out on the YouTube chat. Outfield is better than our infield. McMahon, Ritter, Estrada, Tolia versus Beck, Doyle, Freeman, Moniak.
I mean, Freeman and Beck are really kind of holding down that entire group.
Really? I know.
Historically speaking, I would say no, with McMahon, but he's been struggling. Estrada's really the only one that's holding it down for the infield at the moment, consistently anyway. Tolio's looking a lot better since he got called back up.
Still doesn't look good, though.
Yeah, exactly. Still not great. He's just going to hit a couple doubles or home runs every now and then. So I go outfield right now.
Yeah, I think I'm going outfield as well. So let's get into the trade. What do the Rockies need to do? So you're putting your GM hat on. It can be as crazy as tinfoil as you want it to be. How are you fixing the squad? So Dinger's Burner, again, thank you for hanging out as we finally get to your question at the beginning. How many of these guys do they actually trade? There's a lot on the trade block. I don't know how much of these guys have value, but the Rockies need to get rid of Arcia, trade Bird, Marquez, McMahon, Moniak, and or Estrada, and then bring up the kids. That's where I'm right now as a Rockies fan. I think all Rockies fans want as many kids as possible and as less old people as we can make happen. But how are you? I don't know. What's the idea of a trade? Who are you moving? Are you moving? I don't know. Just how are you GMing the trade deadline now that the MLB draft is over and you have 2 weeks to kind of save your job?
Yeah. So definitely need to be sellers. It's not like we're 1, 2, or 3 pieces away from competing. That's not going to change anything. So you got to sell every asset that you can and flood the prospects and just try to help them develop and hope that you hit big on some of the prospects that might be out there. So first thing that come to mind is relievers are the most valuable thing for competing teams. So Jake Bird, that's kind of like the first trade I'm probably looking at. I'm not, of course, it's not anything personal against his performance or anything. He's fantastic. I'd want to keep him, but getting a return, you got to sell whatever assets you got. So Bird and Marquez, pitching is the most valuable for competing teams. So if you can move them off, Marquez has not been great though. So I don't know what the market would be like for him. The veteran guys that are on the roster right now, like Mickey and those guys, I don't think they're on massive contracts. So it's not they're on vet minimums essentially. So it's not a huge thing for me to be moving those pieces. If there's interest, of course I would want to. But how many people are calling about Mickey Moniak?
Yeah, especially when you have a Mickey Moniak in your system somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's the pitching pieces that really come to mind. We will be able to definitely and should be able to offshore 2 to 3 relievers or maybe a starter and get some assets in return for that. Other than that, you're just banking on what you did in the draft. And it might be a couple more rough years, but, kids are starting to come up. So it's just a waiting game at this point. But
so
yeah.
Let's say the Yankees call and they're like, hey, they probably want Ryan McMahon. So let's say the Yankees want Ryan McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need in return for Rymack, who is arguably the face of the franchise right now? He is the most recognized player now that Blackman's gone. I would say maybe Freeland versus McMahon to the casual, right? What's the line as the GM of trading Ryan McMahon and getting a return with what he means to the franchise, so to speak?
In reality or in my mind? Because that's going to be two different things.
I want in your mind, because this is a vent session. This is a safe space. So in your mind.
In my mind, for Ryan McMahon, I want a top 15 prospect or 2 top 20 prospects. Doesn't have to be your top 5 guys by any means, but if somehow you're able to get a return of a top 10, top 15 guy or multiples of that inside the top 20 inside the Yankees organization, that's a pretty good get in my mind. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, I think is that a fair price? It's always weird. I don't know what the fair price is because the Yankees are competing. Yankees need a third baseman because you move Chaz over to second, and they have some kind of weird vet over there at third base right now. McMahon is streaky. I mean, we all know who McMahon is, and the entire league knows who McMahon is. So, we can't sit here and think McMahon's top of the list, but I think he has more value than a Brian Hayes from the Pirates.
Yeah, and you're really selling McMahon based on his past performance, not his current form, right? And so a team taking him on is really betting on a change of scenery is going to help him get back to what he was in the past. So, I truly don't know. I truly don't know what his value sits at right now because he's a great player. We know that, but is he really going to make a difference for the New York Yankees?
But the Yankees should be calling about Ryan McMahon. And so do you take anything they offer? You're Bill Smith, right? You're Bill Smith. You are essentially losing your job end of September, right? Not to put that on any man, but the writing's pretty much on the wall. That's what the reports are saying.
Yes.
So do you play it safe and granted, we all know he's not pulling the strings. We know who is. But as a GM that's on the way out, how do you not mess up the trade deadline?
Well, it's just like anything. Even if you're on your way out or not, you still got to be professional at the end of the day. And I think Bill is. So he'll do whatever he can to put him in a better situation. And you're not gone till you're gone, right? So until then, we just got to do what you've been doing. So if I'm Bill, I'm not maybe taking anything they offer, but I'm definitely taking it seriously and putting some thought behind it. So I would definitely want, depending on when the offer comes in, a night to sleep on it or something like that. That's how I would approach it. But sitting on his hands isn't a good option. I mean, to me, doing absolutely nothing just reaffirms the report that you cited. So,
yeah, exactly. I think I would be. I'm trading everybody. I'm anybody that has value, anybody that gets a call on. I'm going to find a way to sell that person, sell that player, not that person, sell the player, because you want to leave the team better off than it was. I don't think Ryan McMahon is the answer at third base for a championship run. No offense to Ryan McMahon. I don't think he is.
No, the way that you put that is put the team in a better position. I think you mean put the organization in a better position, right? Because if you're going to do a fire sell, you're not putting a better product on the field. But you are potentially setting up the organization better in a couple of years, which is what the goal should be. And then it opens up some development time for some of the younger guys.
Yep.
Call Zach Bean back up, things like that. So it makes a lot of sense to me. I would like to see a fire sale of some kind, but can't be totally reckless in my mind. So, maybe 3 or 4 moves would be great. Anything more than that might get a little risky, but it sounds like you just want to burn it all down, which I think a lot of Rockies fans do.
Well, I think burning it down, 3 to 4 trades, right? So that means you're trying to move Ryan McMahon. I think you might try to move Brenton Doyle, as weird as that is to say out loud. I think you move a Marquez, and then you're moving a Jake Bird and a Tyler Kinley. Yeah. Like there's potential 5 names that can be moved. I do not agree with Burge here. I don't see what I could get for Hunter Goodman. I don't think you don't trade Hunter Goodman away. He's still on a player contract, arbitration rules, blah, blah. You have a catcher. You now have a catcher who can hit dongs and is only going to get better. I think there's more value in Hunter Goodman than trading him away for whatever you get back.
Yeah, there's still a lot of team control there. So he can be part of the next core of guys that you would hope that can be competitive. So I would definitely hold on to him, but I digress.
Right. So I think there's enough movement. I think you have a player in Tyler Freeman who helps this lineup in the long run because he is different. Like we tried the whole Michael Toglia thing, big power, big swing and miss, and that's not working for any of them. But if you have a Tyler Freeman and a Jordan Becker making a little bit more contact than normal in front of that makes it a little bit more watchable. Tyro Estrada, I think, adds that depth to it. Tyro Estrada has no value right now, and he's on a contract for next year. Really don't know who the second baseman is next year. So I think keeping him around is just fine. But I think you move some of these guys like a Brenton Doyle. I think you move a Brenton Doyle. I think you try to see what is out there for Marquez. I think you fire sell some of the guys that you said were untouchable a year ago. And then you go and put it back in there. Like who can join Ethan Holiday and Charlie Condon in the 2027 World Series run? I'm just saying. I don't know if Brenton Doyle, great defense, but we have Cole Carrick, who plays fantastic defense down there too.
I don't really agree with Doyle. He's having a bad year at the plate, understandably.
Right.
But again, it just comes down to who's making the calls, because just because we want to move somebody doesn't mean somebody wants these guys or they're willing to give up something for them. So,
okay. So does this guy have value?
What?
So do these guys have value?
Like Doyle has value right now as a defensive center fielder, but who's going to trade a prospect for a guy that they're thinking about just bringing in defensively? Because he can't do anything at the plate right now.
But he has 2020 potential.
Right. I mean, so that's why I just hold on to him, because it's not a huge urgency for me to move a guy like that. If he's just going to sit on the bench and be a defensive replacement. And I don't see people giving up a lot for that.
A top 20 prospect for Brenton Doyle, I think I'm saying no to.
I'm saying no to that.
But we're probably thinking the same value, but just different reasoning. I think if I can get 2 top 25, 2 top 30s for Brenton Doyle, one being a near fringe offensive bat with maybe a high ceiling, maybe a high floor pitching prospect, I think I'm accepting that.
I think there's a misconception amongst like casual Rockies fans and baseball fans in general that's just like, oh, well, if this guy's on your team and you don't like him, then you can just trade him. Huge
misconception. Elias Diaz.
Yes, exactly. You're assuming that there's value and people are actually making calls about this and are willing to pick up the phone about this player. That's not how baseball works. Like outside of pitching, I don't think those calls are happening. Like very rarely.
Right. Especially at the deadline trades. I don't think that's happening. I think those are off-season trades.
Yeah, a winter meeting trade. Those might be a little bit different because you're kind of workshopping ideas for the start of the season. But yeah, trade deadlines, it's not like that. So like you said, Elias Diaz, who was our only all-star, and everybody wanted to move him, but at the end of the day, there really was no value there, even though he was our best player technically. So that's just the way it goes. But there are cases where you clearly have a valuable piece that you should be moving that you're not. Trevor Story, for example. John Gray. And those have happened way too often in the history of the Rockies, especially in the last 10 years. And so that's why there's so much frustration against the front office, and rightfully so. Bill's done a couple good things. I mean, flipping our boy Nolan for Freeman at this point looks like it was a good deal.
Yep.
But other than that, like, those are just pretty minuscule. Like, that trade doesn't cause waves in the division or something. It's not like the Dodgers were like, oh my God, they
got Tyler Freeman. No, that was the top of our list.
Yeah, exactly. So
especially a retract trade like that with the Guardians, like
yeah, they just need to do better.
So how do the Rockies regain your trust as a fan, particularly at the trade deadline this year?
Make some front office moves.
Just get rid of them right now. Like, do you want?
Well, you still have to get through the season. So I'm not saying they got to go tomorrow, but come September, if I see a bunch of notifications that the Rockies are making some big moves in their front office, and not, I'm going to say it, not moving up Sterling Monfort, for example. I'm sure he's a great guy, but I mean, that's just like, what are we doing? Internal hires, those things aren't what's worked for us traditionally. So they need to get rid of some of these guys and then bring in actual bona fide baseball people that have good reputations around the league as a whole.
Outside of the Colorado Rockies.
Exactly. And then Monfort needs to take a further step back. You want to own the team, that's great, but hire people and trust them to do the job, and don't meddle.
Which honestly kind of feels like he's understanding that now, because there is an audit happening. They are looking inside their organization and seeing what needs to happen, where and how. And it almost feels like there is going to be a fresh of breath air come October.
Yeah, and with the report of Bill Schmidt potentially on his way out, like those are good signs. And the fact that we did get rid of Bud Black, I mean,
yeah,
that was actually a pretty big move for the Rockies.
Huge move.
Yeah, I mean, basically give lifetime contracts to managers like Jim Tracy and people like that. It's just like, okay, well, if they're willing to stick around, then we'll just let them be there for a lifetime, right? But they actually put their foot down and said, no, but something's got to change. And I'm not saying it's Bud's fault, but clearly you got to do something. And so they actually did that. And I take my hat off to them for that. So I'm still excited to be a Rockies fan, even though this season's lost, right?
Yes. I think I like that phrase. I'm still excited to be a Rockies fan, even though the season's lost. There's been more hope than you would kind of expect in a 120 loss season, which is insane to say out. Probably 130.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. There are some things on the walls like, all right, we finally hit the breaking point for Mr. Dick Monfort, and hopefully that happens. But like, it's something that has to happen there. Otherwise, I think I'm really close to apathy. I feel like I've done a very good job compared to others to not be apathetic about the Colorado Rockies, but I'm hitting that wall. I think I'm finally there where I need Dick to step back. I need president of baseball operations, like seeing what the Tigers have done and seeing how they're managing it. They have a president, they have AJ Hinch, they talk, they eat breakfast together, they make plans together, and that's in the media. People know about it, and they're not hiding any of their stuff, and it's all there. Like, and they made the playoffs after selling, and because they made a plan together, like, hey, we're just gonna do this, this, and this. This is what's gonna work. And like, you see it, and I'm next to it, and then it's like, all right, this can happen. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but you can bring in the smartest people in the room and make a plan and work together to figure it out. And I think seeing that so close makes me want that to happen with Colorado. Otherwise, I think apathy finally sets in for me 5 years later than most, but I think it finally hits. And I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting prospects, but we all know that if it doesn't change in the front office, then we're just going to see the same vicious cycle. And just to put it in comparison, as a Denver everything fan, I mean, just look at what the Nuggets did. What they did was absolutely amazing, and fans are just so excited. And especially after Kroenke came out and said, yeah, we don't really anticipate making a lot of moves. Like, they were very coy about what they were doing, and they did hire internally, but they did it in a very smart way. And then they pulled off all these amazing front office moves. Like, that's a competent front office right there. And it's so exciting for the Denver area, I think. So, yes, everything you said, and what I said as well is, changes in the front office. That's what needs to change in order to still be invested for the years to come.
And it's nothing against the players. Like, I love the players. Like, what we have been able to create and establish some of these relationships with these guys. I was like, I want what's best for them, and being part of an organization. And then I hear some things about behind the scenes stuff. It's like, oh, what are we doing here? Like, it's frustrating hearing some of that other stuff that we kind of get to know, and the position that we're in, which just is kind of wild to think about. But it's, you just want what's best for these guys who grind all the way through and have their chance. Like Willie McGyver, he has been great for the Athletics. Like, why didn't he ever get to the chance with the Colorado Rockies? Like, why Jacob Stallings and Elias Diaz when you had Willie Mack there? Like, you feel for that guy. Like, I still feel for Coco and our guy Stovey. Like, I don't know, it just sucks.
Yeah, and shifting gears, going to the draft and us getting Ethan Holiday is super. I think it's super exciting. I think maybe you have a different take on it, but I was reading more into that, and specifically, I'm thinking, with all those behind the scenes things, and obviously what Matt did in Colorado, you're kind of thinking they don't want anything to do with the organization, because we've seen those reports of guys that really don't have anything positive. I think Tulo was on the record of saying that he straight up will never talk about the Colorado Rockies organization.
Yep. Asked for comment for his story the other day for The Athletic a few months ago.
Yes.
And he declined comment because, like, no, I'm done talking.
He didn't decline comment. He said straight up, I'm not talking about that organization. Which declining, I mean, that's a message, right? Declining a comment would say something. But I mean, he straight up said, don't ever ask me about them. And he played the same time Holiday did. So, all of those things. So I'm like, if I'm Matt Holiday, am I excited that my son just got drafted there? And I heard that he saw that. He said basically, yeah, I still know a lot of people over there, and I'll be as involved as they want me to be, or as much in the background as they want me to be. And that was actually kind of shocking to hear a veteran player of his caliber come out and kind of, he wasn't like a cheerleader, rah, but he was still clearly very supportive of the organization. And, maybe that has to do with the fact that we brought him back in the twilight of his career, and he appreciates that. I don't know what it is, but I was pretty shocked and relieved to see his comments.
Yeah, and I think the Rockies did better by Matt Holiday than they did Troy Tulowitzki. I think that story's apples and oranges. They're just two completely different exits, so to speak.
Matt made it clear he wasn't going to re-sign with us when his contract was up, and the Rockies actually did the right thing and moved him for some pieces. The big piece being
Gonzalez and Houston Street. I still remember that trade. I remember being so excited about that trade.
Yeah, that was one of the better moves with kind of a bad situation that the Rockies front office ever did. Was Bridich the GM at that point? I think he was. But anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Burge, you want to be our mic and see when?
Yeah, you want to come back.
Burge, see when Tulo was traded and who the GM was for that. Because I mean, Burge in the comments here, Tulo is such a weird case. Just because they traded him when they said they wouldn't in 2015 shouldn't justify his feelings. I don't know. I'm not a pro athlete. I think you don't have to be a pro athlete to understand that word is everything. You got to be able to trust what is being said to you and how that's said and how that's carried through. I have to watch what I say and make sure I follow through with my daily life, with all the people I do it. Like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. If I'm going to say, hey, James, I'm going to cut you. I'm not going to cut you. You're still here. But then just kick you out of BSB. Like, you're going to be a little pissed off at me.
Well, it's
extreme millions of dollars, extreme franchise, face of franchise times a million. By that, I would be a little salty too. Like, you told me something, Nolan Arenado, Troy Tulowitzki, similar vibes type thing. I'd be a little pissed too, especially for Jose Reyes. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it's the same thing with Nato, is that he felt betrayed and all that, and it really does kind of come down to some player personality.
It does.
You got to handle guys differently. And I'm sorry to go back to the Nuggets, but I was listening to Michael Porter Jr., who just got traded, right? And he's a class act through and through with the entire thing. And he just described about kind of how he found out. And basically what he said is that the new two front office guys that were hired basically called him into a meeting as soon as they were named the interim people. And they're like pitching him plans about how they're going to make him better and what pieces they're aiming to acquire to make the team better around him and the other guys. And then 2 days later, he gets a call that he's being traded. So, like, in that situation, if he wanted to, he could have gripe with, hey, well, we just talked about how you're going to use me in the future and blah, blah, blah. But he was just like, no, I think they could see in my face that I've kind of plateaued here in Denver and it's time for everybody to just move on. And I mean, he was in the source of trade rumors for a very long time. So I think he just kind of is glad it's over with. But like, he didn't feel betrayed in that situation. Whereas obviously if that's a Nato or Tulo, we get the result that we got. So I don't know.
I think personality is a huge part of it. Tulo and Nato, I think, are very similar in their personalities, just from afar. Don't know them personally, but like their competitive edge, got to win, this kind of thing. There's definitely that, where Matt Holliday, definitely competitive. He's a pro athlete. They're all competitive, right? But his mentality is going to be a little bit different, I think, than what Troy Tulowitzki's was back in the day.
Yeah. And Matt Holliday strikes me as a more objectively forward-thinking kind of player, right? He's not do or die every second on the field. He's thinking about options and all of those things, right? Yeah. I don't know how to quite describe it, but it's just like he's just much more practical in his approach to the game, right?
Yeah.
And was not a big voice in the media, where Nato and Tulo have no problem saying what they think.
Which, again, you respect both of them, right? Like, there's different personalities and you work with those people a little bit differently. I get all that. Yeah. So, I mean, Jeff Bridich was the GM when Troy Tulowitzki was traded in 2015. Yes.
And after he left Colorado, he's never done anything in baseball, to my understanding. I have no idea what he's doing now.
No, he's down in Texas.
No,
he's a big part of Bridich.
Yeah, maybe he's not.
He might be part of the analytics department.
Baseball anymore. I have no idea. Must be doing something business related somewhere.
Running the meat market for the Monforts. But I mean, to the Holiday piece, I think Matt Holliday saying, I'll do what I can when I can. That might just be the dad coming out. Like, I want my son to be successful and I want him to experience what I experienced. So I will do whatever I need to in that case. So like, if I need to sit back and I'm not wanted by the organization, that's fine. I will make sure Ethan is set up for success.
Well, that's not him saying that he necessarily wants to do anything or that the Rockies are even asking him to do anything. He's just saying, I appreciate the organization. And if they want me around, cool. If not, cool.
Right.
So,
yeah, which, I don't know. Wouldn't that be weird? Like, you have a son in Baltimore and then you have a son in Colorado, and like, you're spending all your time with Colorado, and like, is Jackson going to be mad at you for a little bit? Like,
well, Colorado's just subjectively better than Baltimore.
Well, in general, yes.
Oh,
I don't. That would be a tough place for Matt Holliday, but I mean, he seems like you kind of said. He seems level-headed. He seems to get it, and he has set both of his kids up for success.
yes.
But going back to like, is Ethan Holiday the savior? Maybe this is the question. Should Ethan Holiday have the savior title on his name going forward? I shared my thoughts on this on the live broadcast yesterday when we covered the MLB draft. I don't know if I like the Ethan Holiday draft pick.
Okay.
Bear with me here. I don't know if I 100% believe what I say when I say that, but the take is it's not Ethan Holiday I don't like. It's the Colorado Rockies drafting a high school player that I don't like. Look at the track record, Zach Veen, Benny Montgomery, Drew Romo. It has been tough to establish high school players through the system to be major league caliber players. Some of that is injuries, but some of that was Zach Veen and Benny Montgomery are big toolsy guys. We're going to fix them. Zach Veen, I still think is a superstar. Benny, I have a little bit different thoughts, but like, I don't know. Ethan Holiday has big swing and miss concerns, so to speak. Granted, he was hitting 2.0 OPS in high school baseball. I'm sure he just got bored and is like, hey, I'm going to swing at this. And therefore, there come the concerns.
Well, high school baseball is weird too, because you can go out and face a school and you got a guy that's throwing 95, 96. And then you turn around and play the next day and you're playing a high school and the guy's topping out at like 76. Right. So, it is, but yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I just don't agree with it.
Because I've battled myself.
I'm taking this pick 1,000 times out of 1,000 times.
I don't know about that. I am more comfortable. I'm more okay with it because it is Matt Holliday and the connection with the Colorado Rockies, and he was a major league all-star, World Series, played in the World Series. He understands all of it, and you get that experience as a kid being surrounded by that constantly. And so Matt Holliday has set Ethan Holiday up for all the success in the world. This is what's probably going to happen. This is how you can deal with it. This is what I would suggest, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's set up for whatever kind of stuff might come up with that. He's a different high school player than anybody else.
Yeah, definitely. If we would have selected a high school pitcher, I would have been upset.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, no, but like, I was on record yesterday saying I think I take the heart out of it. I think it would have been more okay with them selecting Jamie Arnold over Ethan Holiday. Jamie Arnold, crafty lefty, plus stuff. Rockies have some experience developing a crafty lefty in the system. What they're doing with Persecki, Sean Sullivan, Carson Palmquist, they've established that they can create a ball player out of a lefty arm.
Yeah.
I don't know if they haven't shown me enough in the few recent years to do that with a high school bat. Again, Ethan Holiday's the exception, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still doing this every time. It's a great story, but no, I'm not going to put the pressure on him to give him the moniker of the savior of an organization. I hope he comes up and he realizes his potential, and we have competitive teams while he's up. But to give a high school kid, hey, you got to go save this organization from, complete irrelevancy. I don't think that's really fair to him. So I'm super excited about it. I'm going to keep up with him. It's a really great story, but I'm not going to put any added pressure on him for anything. Just go out there and do what you're doing. Listen to your coaches, listen to your dad. See you in a couple of years.
Listen to your dad. Just listen to your dad.
Yeah.
I agree with it. And I say all that with, I would make the pick 95 out of 100 times. Ethan Holiday was the clear cut. You have to do this. Like,
well, no, and especially the fact that he was the number one prospect on a lot of people's boards.
Yeah.
And he falls to you at 4. Like,
you have to take that.
Ethan Holiday or not, like, you're still making that move because you're just going to take the best available at that point. And he was that, and his story is just so good for us. Like, I imagine there's nobody in that room that was saying,
Hey,
something else.
James Arnold. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I just putting that out there just so we have a conversation. But I don't does Ethan, is there a good chance that Rockies are able to sign Ethan? There is a 0% chance they don't sign Ethan. You can look at the draft yesterday. There were many underslot players selected in rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to fill up that gap for that signing bonus, that money that is going to Ethan. They selected Ethan and they had all the plans to make sure they were able to find the money to sign Ethan.
Right. And everything
Ethan
that I've
Holiday
said,
is a Colorado Rocky by
yeah.
August 1st.
And after everything that I've read and seen, this isn't going to be like a holdout situation where the player refuses to sign with that organization that, you know, we sometimes see in pro football, things like that. There's a 0% chance.
Yeah, 0% chance. Ethan Holiday will be a Colorado Rocky sometime soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the other question, maybe we can end it with this. Every successful team has to have a superstar. Like you need that. Like otherwise you're not winning. Bobby Witt, Riley Green, Aaron Judge, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. I mean, their entire squad. I didn't even say Ohtani. But it's, do the Rockies have enough in these last 4 drafts? You go Gabe Hughes, Chase Dollander, Charlie Condon, and now Ethan Holiday. Is there enough there with the Colorado Rockies and the talent to have a superstar to carry this franchise to the playoffs in 27, 28, 29?
I mean, that's a fantastic question. I want to say yes, but until they start actually developing and showing flashes, we don't know. Zach Veen, you want to be a part of that, but he was up and it wasn't great.
He's working on it. Go listen to our most recent data dump pod.
No, yeah, I know, and he's
doing much better. He's fixing
he's doing a lot better. So again, I want to say yes, and Zach Veen's the one that comes to mind about being that, but until you actually start seeing some really exciting flashes, it's going to be really hard for me to say like to bet money on that outcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not laying any money on Rockies 2028 futures, you know, at least not yet.
How many wins do the Rockies have in 2028? And is Ethan Holiday part of that? So we're looking at 3 seasons. So you have 26 and 27.
I mean, Jackson came up really fast, right?
And the Rockies are pushing their prospects pretty fast right now. Charlie Condon is already in AA after a terrible start last year. Gabe Hughes, Chase Dollander, you can go down the list. They're pushing guys. Hunter Goodman was up fairly quickly in the grand scheme of things.
Jordan Ball. I mean, so assuming best case scenario, then that's probably Ethan's first season.
First full season, yeah.
First full season in the majors. At that point, I don't envision him being a 30 home run guy right out the gate, right?
What if he is?
I mean, that would be sick.
Like he has the talent, like it's all there.
No, that would be amazing. But you know, historically speaking, I don't think there's enough there for me to feel comfortable expecting that. So it takes a while. But I think we could definitely start being competitive in 2028, 29, 30.
What does competitive look like? Is that 500 ball? Is that 75 wins?
Yeah, that's above 500, actually pushing for wild cards, maybe getting a wild card spot. I hope we win a division someday, but
we might celebrate.
I mean, there was a time where we had a game 163 to decide the division and
blew it.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. Well, I don't remember correctly, so I just won't say anything. But I know we lost that game. So, really want a division championship. If we get a division championship in 5 years, that's like best case scenario.
Oh yeah,
that would be a dream come true.
I think playoffs would be a dream come true in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I think we can start challenging for the wild card spot, and you know they expanded the wild card, so it's
a little bit easier.
Yeah, a little bit easier. And if you remember Rockies playoff legend Tony Walters, you know, we beat the Cubs.
We all remember that. I think that was the year they had the chance to win the division. Because didn't they play the Dodgers or something for game 163, lost, and then had to go to Milwaukee.
I think that was a different season.
Was that a different season?
I think so.
Maybe in the year before.
But yeah, so I think we could potentially start playing 500 ball in 3 years.
Yeah, it wasn't 2017. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be great. I don't know. So wrap it up. I don't know what my final question is. Safe place. Colorado Rockies mean blank to you. I don't
know. Colorado mean blank to me.
Yeah, that's a terrible question. I don't know. All right, we're just gonna end it. So go Rockies. Let the kids play. Sell the entire team that has value. Over under 2.5 trades. And who are they?
I'm going under. Jake Bird and McMahon are traded.
I'm going over. Bird, Kinley, and Herman. I think Herman gets moved.
Well, you heard it here first.
Over 3. So we'll go with that. I don't know if that was as much ranty as we kind of thought, but just more discussion. And we get to watch the All-Star game tonight. Your mom's favorite player, our favorite guy, Hunter Goodman, class act all the way through. Very humble, has worked his ass off, did whatever the system wanted him to. Hey, you're going to pick up first base. All right, I'll figure it out. You're going to play left field, right field. All right, figure it out. Hey, that didn't go well. You're catching again. All right, let's just go hit dongs for days. And he's there. Like, he's awesome. He's incredible. He's a great guy, great family, just great people. So congrats to Hunter Goodman, your mom's favorite player, for being a dog. Dude, they're doing Players Weekend again. And I think the players get to put nicknames on the back of their jerseys.
Okay.
Does Hunter Goodman put your mom's favorite player on it?
No.
Damn.
I mean, that'd be cool, but no.
It'd be dope as fuck. Dude, could you imagine?
I could, so I'm not going to.
When is Players Weekend? Players Weekend 2025. August 15th. So we'll find out in a month. Through personalized bats and cleats sent to the ballpark routine in the game. I don't know if they're going to put nicknames on it. We'll look it up. But your mom's favorite player, watching tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time, All-Star game. I know I'm tuning in. Skubal versus Skeens to start the first inning. I'll probably stop watching right after that until Hunter Goodman gets back into the game. But go have fun. Enjoy your people. Reach out to them. Go Rocks. Woo!